extra towels. I drip dry.
She drip dry.
Welcome to the Drip Dry Podcast, where we let it all hang out. I'm your girl, Jasmine Christine.
I'm Faith Marie.
And I'm Maya Monet.
And if you are watching, this is a part 2 of the marriage episode. And it got really good, so we just had to do a part 2. Mm-hmm. So you want to keep on watching to see what we talk about next. It gets real hot. Let's go.
I have a question for you ladies, and it is, of all the things that we've just discussed about marriages and everything that comes with marriages, do you believe that love is enough to stay?
No.
Immediately no.
Immediately no.
No, because just saying I love you is not enough. I believe love is an action word. I don't think love is just a word to just say.
Absolutely.
Just because you have a feeling for someone that you love them.
Or you feel obligated to that person.
Yeah. When you say you love someone, you're showing them something that says I love you. So if I say I love you, Maya, I'm not just saying the words. I'm showing you by being there for you, talking with you.
However that person needs to be loved.
Yeah.
Or wants to be loved. Their love language.
And I also think you can tell somebody that you love them, but I could also love more than one person at the same time.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody that loves more than one person romantically.
Mm-hmm.
So love to me is you love me. You love only me in this relationship. But if you start to love someone else, that's not love to me, because love wouldn't hurt me, especially not on purpose. And if you know that love to me is you being with me, cherishing me, and spending a relationship with me
as your wife,
if you hurt me by loving someone else or doing something else, with another person, that's not love.
Even then, I can love you from afar. If you do something to me, I don't have to stay with you just because we have a kid together. I don't need to stay with you just because we have a house together. You know what? I also love myself, and I deserve better, and my daughter deserves better. So I promise you, I will pick my daughter up and I will walk straight out. Absolutely not. I've been telling him too.
Well, love is not. Yeah. Being in my 30s, no, I do not believe love is enough.
Yeah.
I will say when I was in my 20s, I thought that love was enough to push through anything. Wow. If I love you, I can work through it. Love is not enough.
It sure ain't. It sure ain't. To that.
What things should you talk about before you get married?
The finances is definitely one.
Is there anything that you would want to talk about before you got married?
There are a lot of things I think you should discuss before getting married, like how you want to parent.
Facts.
Parenting.
Like, are you a spanker? Not spanker. Do you want to have kids? Not have kids?
Are you a heavy disciplinarian? Or
some people, that's a deal breaker for them. Like, if you don't want to have kids, I cannot marry you because I want to be a mom or whatever. Yeah. I'm with that 1,000.
I think, in my opinion, you should be with that person for a long time before you get married to them. That's always been my thought. A long time is a few years, in my opinion.
Like at least 2.
At least we talked about
I say
that
at
before.
least 3.
We
3 or more.
We talked about that before when we in relationships.
Yes, or more. I mean,
Oh wow.
I don't know. So I'm going from somebody that was like, I started dating my man when I was a teenager. So when you're a teenager, you cannot make logical decisions when you're a teenager, and you cannot make logical decisions before the age of 23, in my opinion. I do not think everybody grows up differently. They grow up faster than others. I understand that you're an adult at 21. I don't think you're an adult at 21. But anyway, I understand that, but I don't know, past the age of 23 is when you start to, everything starts to align, in my opinion. And I knew that whoever I was with at an early age, I needed to be with them for a long time. And I knew that I wouldn't even get married before the age of 25. I think marriages can work before then, but I was not about to take that chance. And I knew I didn't know myself fully at that point.
Mhm.
So I want to talk about everything with you. I want to know, because I want my first marriage to be my last marriage. I want you to know me, like all of my ins and outs. I want to know you in and out. I want to know what pisses you off, how you act when you get pissed off.
Mhm.
What's
What are
the
your
most
triggers?
important to you? Yeah, what's not so important to you? I want to know everything. I want to see you in every situation that I can before I make that decision to marry you. And I always, like, I loved that my engagement wasn't very long. I would rather
I love that.
be
song.
with you for a very long time and have a very short engagement and then get married, because we'll know. Like, you just know. When you know, you know. Like I said, some people are like, when you know after 2 weeks, and they get married and they've been married for like 50, 60 years. Okay, that's freaking amazing for
Yeah,
you.
I don't know how that can happen.
Yeah, me neither. But I would say give it a few years before you make that decision to jump into marriage, because they will still be there whether you're married or not. And it will be different. That's kind of going back to what we were saying earlier, what I asked you. Marriage is different once you put that ring on, in my opinion. Once you sign those papers, or however you deem marriage to be,
in a relationship, it's different.
it's different. It's different. You are now one with that person. It is different. I felt it. Elijah started to say he didn't see a difference between just living together and being married, because he was like, it's all the same. We're still gonna go back and live together, and it's the same. And then I think later on he was like, you know what? It is different. There is difference.
A lot
to
more
it.
that comes with it. A lot more
Yeah.
on the table.
Yeah. So if you're like, no, I need to get married now, and you want to rush it, that's not a good enough reason to get
You're
married.
going to be
It's-
divorced.
Yeah, like, marriage will always be an option, so you might as well figure out that person now. Make sure that that's your one and only who you want to be with, and you want whatever his demons or the stuff that the baggage he has, she has, you're taking that on as well. So getting to know all of that before,
Yeah.
so I need to know everything. I need to know everything.
I think at least a year before you get engaged with somebody.
And then have a long engagement.
Go through all the seasons. I wouldn't mind having a longer engagement, and to me a longer engagement is like a year, maybe a year and a half. Especially
I think your engagement short. That was short for me. I felt like.
oh, really?
No,
I feel like short is like
short.
like
She got engaged on
6
her
months
birthday in
and-
February. She got married in March. Like
Oh,
that was short.
That was
Yeah.
short.
But they've
Yeah.
been together for 10 years. They got 3 kids.
Yeah.
She like
And me and Elijah eloped.
Nothing
It would have
else.
been
Yeah,
like, that. It would have been
like-
like a couple months. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like
I was like, go ahead, y'all.
a year engagement, especially, or I would even do like a year and a half, just to make sure I got everything that I wanted for my wedding day, to make sure, like, you know, if it was like the dress or the venue, or you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
so to make sure you got everything that you wanted out of it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I definitely think like
You're saying at
Being-
least a year. What I think is, now you got to choose who you're gonna see for Christmas. My family or your family.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So then the next year you see the opposite family. So you didn't even get to that next year with the other half of the family.
That's definitely a controversial part
Topic.
of marriage.
Yeah, and everybody's different. Some people don't have families like that. Some people don't have big
Right.
families, and it.
Ooh, when you
it
got
come
big,
up.
when you
There
got
are
a big
some people
family,
that are like, especially
Well, that
like
was
if
me,
your
a lot of
mom
huge
is
families.
a mom that's like, no, you got to be here for every Christmas.
Yeah.
That can start an argument because you're like,
that's
okay,
what I'm saying.
well,
Like,
now
I
we're
need
my
to
own
know.
family.
I need to know all the ins and outs. That's why I
At
say
that
at least
point, they
3
need to
years.
start coming to be. Y'all need to
Exactly,
come
but
to where
like
we are.
then it's gonna
Both,
be
Yeah.
both sides need to come to where we are. We got
Yeah.
these kids here.
yeah.
We got everything. Y'all, you need to come.
Mm-hmm.
You need to come.
Yeah.
I'm the one with the, we not moving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If y'all want to see us, y'all can make it work.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, definitely.
Oh, yikes. Oh, my God.
That's the part that
I can't
gets.
even think about, like, thinking about having kids. Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still 16. I can't do that.
Yeah, I'm still 16. I can't do that.
Have a kid. I can't.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah,
It's hard out here being a teenage mom. It's really hard out
Team
here.
mom
But
OG.
yeah, I think you definitely have to talk about that before you get married
Yeah.
because that can easily start an argument.
Mm-hmm.
Very easily.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think that when you get married, if you don't talk about those things, they're gonna come up and they're gonna start an argument, and then it can make things 10 times worse than if you just talked about it
From the beginning.
beforehand. Like, do you think you doing marriage counseling, like you should do that before you get married?
Premarital counseling
Yeah.
is. I think it depends on the couple and how well they can compromise and how well they're willing to give and take when it comes to their
Mhm.
love.
If they're
and
not
how
willing
much
to
they love
like
each other.
communicate about certain things, you already know there's kind of a communication barrier, or your faith is not the same
Yep.
and you're not equally yoked. That
Ooh,
that
come on,
is
yokes.
when I think marriage counseling is huge. So absolutely, and I'm not against marriage counseling at all, pre-marriage or
Mhm.
after. I would do it after. I would do it now. I feel like me and Elijah are great. But if we got presented with the opportunity to do it, I think it would be interesting to go ahead and do it and to see what more we could learn from each other. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Me and Elijah didn't do premarital counseling. I know in the Christian faith, which we are, it's very big, especially where he's from. But I feel like you really need to trust those people that are counseling you, and we found one couple that we trusted enough, and then they stopped doing it. So we never looked past that, because some people like people that are non-biased, don't
Yeah,
want anything to do with them, and me and
Or
him
don't
both
know them.
agreed we need people that know us. Like,
Oh,
we need
wow,
people
really?
that like know us individually, because we are so not traditional.
Mhm.
We needed somebody that was like a hybrid like that would kind of understand both
You
sides
can tailor it to your
of
relationship.
things.
and to
Yeah,
your
not tell us
marriage.
this is the way to do it,
And
this is
that's
the
it,
only
not
way.
knowing you all.
Well, no,
Yeah.
a marriage counselor should never be telling you this is the way to do anything. They're
Right.
usually somebody that's a counselor or a therapist is supposed to be listening to what you're saying and then guiding you, asking you questions, and then you come up to your own solution. Somebody that's physically telling you what to do, that's not a therapist or a counselor.
That's a church therapist
That's
for you.
that's
Yeah.
no.
I think that's where I was coming from. Like, it's more like just churchy.
Yeah.
But me and Elijah have been so good at communication. Elijah's an over communicator. So if anything, he's had to pull stuff out of me way more than I've ever had to pull stuff out of him. And I think that's one thing that we're really good at, and we've worked on the most,
Mhm.
even from the very, very, very beginning. Especially when things started to get more serious, when we were really thinking about marriage. So after the thought of like, oh, we would love for this exact couple to do our marriage counseling, and then they couldn't do it for us, we were like, oh, we'll be fine. Maybe
Oh well.
oh well.
It's worth a shot.
But I do think it's important. Especially if you're going to get married quickly, like a year. Maybe do some marriage counseling just in case you missed some things you didn't talk about.
That's uncovered in that therapist.
There you go.
When you're married, should your kids or your husband come first? Which one should come first? Your children or your husband?
Husband.
This is so controversial.
It is. This should have been
Controversial.
This should have been our controversial.
This is like my biggest traditional thing is absolutely husband comes first. But then I'm thinking about I don't know. I'm thinking like very serious things.
My kids come first. my kid comes first. The only time I would say that that's not a thing where it's like, okay, now then my husband comes first is once my kids get older and
There's like
they're grown,
Mhm.
then it's okay, my husband comes first. But when it comes to like who I'm serving first, my kids or my husband, my kids. When I go to make my plate, I'm making my kids' plate first. So you can go sit down, you can start eating, and then I will make my husband's plate. Or
See,
he
I
can
feel like
make
that's
his
just
own
smart.
plate.
That's not like choosing your husband over your kid or choosing your kid over your husband. I think that's just smart.
But that's in some
Kids
Yeah,
have
but
short
it's-
attention spans. You have to.
in
Exactly.
some relationships. That's not. He will flip this table over if you
Oh yeah,
feed
they'd
the
be
kids.
like, yeah.
before
Some
you
people
feed
would
him.
be like
That's
that.
not
I make this money. I put this food
Right.
on this table.
Take care
you
of
gonna
me
feed
first.
me first.
Oh.
No.
hell
Yeah, no.
No.
Like, and they might not say it like that,
But
but that's the dynamic,
Yeah.
and that's what they're expecting. So that's why I'm like, my kid's gonna come 1st I'm gonna take care of my kid
Even if-
first, and then
You were with London's father.
yes, Linda would come first. Her needs, because she's a child, she's my responsibility. Something happens to her,
Yeah.
it's my fault. Something happened to him, it's not my fault.
Right.
Something happened to her, I am liable. I am
Right.
going to jail. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? So
Oh, I
for me,
understand that.
until-
Like, I
right,
would
so that's
choose
what
my
I'm
kid first in that. I'm thinking more like if my husband and my daughter was in an argument, I would obviously be sitting there listening to both sides. But if my daughter said something out of turn,
I feel like
correct.
that.
You're being disrespectful.
you're being disrespectful.
It's not about, oh, I'm just picking my daughter's side.
Right.
That's
I'm
my
not
daughter.
just going to be on my daughter's side
And knock
because she's my
Shakisha
daughter
head
and
up
she's a
between that
kid.
wash and
I'm
dry.
Correct.
not going to do
But
that.
I will also say this: if there's ever a situation where my daughter were to be correct, and there was something that I felt like my husband or her father was saying at the time, I wouldn't discuss that with her in front of him. I would say, we're going to stop the conversation here. You go to your room, and then I would talk to him and be
In
like,
private.
I don't, correct. I
Yes,
would never.
absolutely. Always.
I never
So,
want
united
to
front.
argue. Right. I never
Yeah.
want to
United
argue
front.
in front of
Your
you know,
children.
Your children.
Because that
Even-
they can divide and
Even
conquer.
with my daughter's
Yeah.
father, we're not together, but I would never want to argue in front of my daughter because you still need to respect him as your
Yeah.
dad. And so if we disagree on something, that needs to be done in private. But I'm not going to just agree with him just because that's my husband or that's her father.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, my kid's going to always come first. And then when she gets older, she's able to fully depend on herself. Then that's when you come into play. But that to me, that's the, I don't want to say risk, but that's what you're taking on when you become a parent. You now have to care for somebody who cannot care for themselves. And so if something happens, it's my fault. I go to jail, or I'm going to be the one that gets reprimanded because they're always known as
She gonna be the one on the
child.
stand.
So to me, my kid comes first. And that would definitely be something that I would talk about before I got married.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
Yeah.
you
Tying
know,
back.
coming to me being now 30 and being a single mom, whoever comes into my life next, you would know my kid is important to me. My kid comes first. So if we're, doing something and I cannot do it because I have childcare, I'm not going to just be like, oh, well, I'm in this new relationship and that comes first.
Yeah.
No, my kid comes first. So I cannot do it because my kid. That's just me.
Good answer, good answer.
But I know people are going to disagree with that. I know they're going to disagree. They're going to be like, no, you should have made your husband's plate first.
Girl,
No.
I'm sorry.
No, bitch. My child's plate is
He
getting
can
made
make
first.
his own plate.
So she
He
can sit
should have
there.
made my. And see, and that's why I said I'm not for either. Like, I just want to create a whole other group because, honestly, while I'm making these kids' plates, I need him to make my plate. Like, help me.
Yeah.
Help
And then
me.
when you make
I'll
my
make your plate if you make my kid's plate.
Oh,
Help
no,
me.
I'll eat last.
I'm gonna make
there.
these kids'
Right.
plate. If you make my plate, I'm gonna make your plate. And
as soon as I'm
and
done
when
with
I-
this kid's
yeah.
plate, we can all
Help
sit
each
down and
other
eat.
out.
yes, we can sit down and eat
Absolutely.
together, and I might get the dishes together, and I might it's teamwork.
Absolutely.
That's how I was like when
100%.
it comes to finances. Like there may be some things he pays more. Generally, he pays more on majority of things, but just except for I still have pretty much everything out because we're not married, so everything is still separate. Like I pay all of my bills. Generally, I pay my own bills and he pays his bills, and then whatever is the household, we split it accordingly or however.
Which
see
makes
fit.
sense. You're not married. That makes
Yes,
sense.
but as far as but even if it was to the point where like he paid all the bills in the house, like he paid the rent, and I would be like, okay, if you're paying the rent, I'll pay the utilities, and then whatever extra money we have, we can just stack. Like we can have a vacation fund, we can have a rainy day fund, we can have put this in a Roth.
There's
Like
things that you gotta discuss before you get married.
or
so
you get
Absolutely.
You know
Absolutely.
how this person likes to budget, how this person likes to spend money, and all that stuff. But one thing I do, I want to ask because I've seen this on TikTok. Do you think so? Say you're at Thanksgiving dinner, you're married, and should you make your mother's plate or your father's plate before you make
No.
anybody in
No.
your immediate
No.
family, as far as like your husband or your
No.
children?
Nope.
who make it?
Now I'm gonna
My
ask.
mama make her own
Say
plate.
so. Now I'm gonna say. Now you get older. Now they're like in the older age. So say they're now like 80.
No, I would understand.
Wait, no,
If I was
no.
80,
Your mom's 80.
I'm making my
And
mama plate
you're-
first.
So now it depends on age.
Yeah. Because if my
Okay.
mama can't make her own plate and she is depending on me to do for her, you can wait or you can get up and make your own plate.
So that's
My
or
mama
you can
can't.
make my
always-
mama's plate.
Okay?
So then
While
it
I
always
make these
depends on
kids'
if they can do it themselves.
Yes.
The person you're serving, can they do it themselves?
Well, yeah, it definitely comes down if they can do it themselves. I mean, my parents don't value that. They don't care about that. I don't think they would care about that until they can't do for themselves. If my parents did care about that, like I just knew my mom wasn't gonna make herself a plate. I needed to make sure she ate because she's running
That
around
is
everywhere.
wild
Whatever,
to
that's
me.
different. But my parents, no, they take care of themselves right
I just
now.
want you to make that plate.
But my nanny, like my
Like
nanny,
as far as like I've more so seen it in the point of a male perspective, like the son doing for his mother.
Mama's voice.
Yeah, like I've seen it from that
Cool.
aspect
The mama's
on.
voice depending on
on
which one you
TikTok.
get.
It was like, oh, so you're gonna make
Depending
your
on what
wife's
kind
plate
of
before
mama's
you.
voice you get.
Oh.
It's different kinds now.
I also saw this as well. When you're in the car, say the husband is driving, does your wife sit in the front seat or does his mother sit in the front seat?
Controversial.
his mother sits in the front seat. Because of
Your
age.
mother.
But no,
It-
because it's
Either one.
Either one.
Either one. Because
So
of age.
you sit in the back seat and mom sits in the front seat.
I believe in respecting your elders.
I do too.
I don't think if an 80-year-old woman
Unless she
cusses
was
me
like
out,
insisting, like
I'm so sorry.
sometimes my
I'm
grandmother's
not gonna speak back
86.
to you.
Sometimes she'd be like, no, the back is more comfortable for me. Like I don't. That's different than
That's
I'll sit in the
different.
back.
Yeah.
But
So now I want to ask, what is so special about the front seat?
it's an individual seat, and I like it. And it got 2 armrests.
I think it's more comfortable, the front seat. I don't know.
I need the front seat drive
hmm
from the passenger seat.
A lot of people get nauseous in the back seat. The back seat's just.
I don't care about the back seat.
No,
I also
Even
don't care.
when we get in the car, she be like, "You sure you want to sit in the back?" It's the seat. Like I don't.
I mean, that's how I feel now.
Mhm.
I just think about like it's
It's a-
usually more
except
spacious,
for that one
easier
time.
to get into.
When Jasmine was getting married, and we was going dress shopping, and somebody got in my seat.
Oh Lord, we not finna
I was
bring
like,
this up.
this bitch. That's my motherfucking sleep. See, do you sleep with her every night? No, I do.
That would.
Besides that one, it wasn't you. It
Oh,
wasn't.
no,
you.
no, I know, but I'm saying
So
that
it
would
would
bother me.
her.
Oh yeah, well, but like
Yeah.
In a sense of if, my mother-in-law at the time should be in the front seat or I should be in the front seat. To me, I think it comes down to what's comfortable to my mother or my mother-in-law. Obviously, if she's more comfortable. And I also think because of age, a lot of times you can't really get as much room in the back as you do in the front. So obviously some people's mothers are a lot older, so if they're, walking with a cane or something like that, they probably obviously need to sit in the front seat unless your back seat is more spacious or whatever. But when it comes to just just because of your title, just because you're the mom, I don't think that means you need to sit in the front seat. I don't think the title makes you be like, you need to sit in the front seat.
I think it does.
I think it does too.
Only because I don't think there's an importance to sitting in the front seat.
So why not?
So
it
then-
is. If it's not.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't mind getting in the back, but I don't think just because
So if y'all
Your
leave it-
title.
Cup holders up there. Everything is more comfortable in the front seat.
it
Everything.
But
just
I just
depends on
feel
it just
like
depends on the car.
if
So that's what I'm saying.
I just feel like if you're the one who pushed this motherfucker out, you gave birth, you got the right to sit in the front if you want to. You got the right to sit wherever you want, whether it be the front or the back. You got that right.
I
You
think
So
took
that's
the
why I said
right.
I usually ask and say, oh, or would you be more comfortable in the front or the back? I would ask that, but not just because of your title do you get to sit in the front. I think it's more
my
like,
daughter-
hey, let me ask.
I
hey,
wish a
are you
motherfucker-
more
let my
comfortable in
son
the front or the
Come
back?
home and after all them hours of labor I done spent with you, and you gonna tell
I was
me?
about to say I would get
But
offended
see,
just
it's
by the
not
question.
a tell. I'm not gonna say, Mom, you're gonna sit in the back. For me, it will always be an ask. Hey, are you more comfortable in the front or the back? You say the front, sure, I'll put you in
If
the
there's
front.
nothing wrong
You say
with
the
me,
back, I'm gonna put you in the
and
back.
I'm
But
not
I'm not gonna
comfortable,
just put you in
I
the
would be
front just
immediately offended
because
just by the question.
of me asking.
But
I think
my
it's
mama-
expected just by the question.
But even my mom, yeah, me too.
If I was completely
just
capable
thinking
and
that.
able, normal,
I
didn't
just go
have
to
a
the back.
problem or
I don't even,
anything.
unless they good. Like my mom, even like when she would be in the car and we was doing something and I had to go pick him my tail, but we had to go get him. She would get out of the front. She got out of the front seat and she got in the back. And I'm like, what are you doing? She like, y'all good? Y'all got like.
And
she
I
let it
do
be
that
us.
too.
Yeah, like
I'm
she.
not- at that age, I'm like still moving around like I am now, and I'm like, no, baby, go ahead, sit in the front seat. I'm good. Like, be with your husband. I'm good.
Cause I feel like that's really how I want to be. I want to be drive me around because I would probably drive y'all little asses around everywhere.
But asking would make you upset. Me just saying, if I said, "Hey, Mom," if I'm your kid, "Hey, Mom, do you want to be in the front or the back?" That would-
No.
That's what she
If
said.
you ask that, if my
That's what I'm
son, you
saying.
said, like if my son asked me that, or if my daughter asked me that, versus their
Or the
significant
in-law.
other.
Exactly.
If that was
Okay, I
coming
said
from
in-law,
my
and I
son,
say, "Would you be more comfortable in the front or the back?"
yeah, no,
I'd be
bitch,
offended.
I'm in the back, I'm in the front.
I'm in the fucking
Unless
front.
I say I don't want to
Oh,
be in the
wow,
front.
I cannot believe you're asking me that. Yeah.
How dare
But
you?
if it was my kid and she's comfortable with me and she knows me, like, maybe my mom would be more comfortable.
Yeah,
in the
mama, you
back.
want to get in the back? You want to get in the front or the back?
Yeah. I mean, I would.
So it's not
Take
about
that
the way
differently.
I'm saying it.
No,
It's just the
the
question.
fact that you
It's
feel
because
like,
of who it's coming from. Because you just said if your son or
Yes,
daughter
because
asked
of
you.
yes,
Yeah.
because of who it's coming from.
Oh
yes.
wow, we totally have different opinions.
and it depends on who car it is. Because if it's my child car, I'm automatically riding in the front
Yeah.
because I birthed him. I'm first in line.
Yeah.
Now I'm first in line when it comes to this front seat.
See, I was just about to say. Now you.
I believe in leave and cleave. I believe in leave and cleave
Are you a
wholeheartedly.
lawyer now? My God.
No, I knew
Not a lawyer, but now I'm
No,
like.
I knew where she was going with
You
it, but I
starting
left it
to-
open. I left it. It was an open-ended.
I immediately
I'm
thought
first
you
in
meant
line.
the front seat.
But I think that's how I was raised, and that's how my children will be raised. So it won't be a question. So it is what it is. You're not bringing no bitch. I'm
To
sorry.
me,
You're not bringing no girl.
But
home
what if she?
and-
What if the car you have is more comfortable in the back? You
Then
don't
I'm
think
going to the back.
then
No,
you
but what if you don't
explain
know that? So that's what I'm saying. If I ask, I'm just politely asking, "Hey, Mom," and a lot of times most people, when you get married, your in-law, you don't say, "Hey, in-law," or you don't say, "Hey, in-law, would you like to?" You're like, you usually end up calling them mom or dad as well.
You just wait for them
So
to
you
go
just-
We're
wherever
about
they
to go
gonna
to the
go.
store. My front seat is the most uncomfortable thing you will sit in all day. Would you like to sit in the back? The front seat is terrible. It's god awful because of this, and this.
So now
That's
that makes you
different.
more.
That's the
comfortable.
explanation, yes, as to why
Okay,
you're
go
asking me. Because if you're just out of the blue asking me, what? Why?
Now you're
didn't I
not just
get in the
blowing
front?
me off because you're married
Well,
to my
because
son. or
I'm
whatever.
thinking. In my head, that's what I'm thinking. I'm giving you the option. Would you be more comfortable in the front or the back?
But see, the
Some
Monte
people,
mama got
for
in
my
the back.
mom, she's claustrophobic. She needs to sit in the front because it's more open space. Having that seat in front of her makes her more claustrophobic.
Mhm.
So for her, yes. But if we're in another car that maybe the back is more
comfortable.
spacious. She can let her legs out,
Mhm.
and she doesn't have that. What's the thing in front where you let it down and you can get the stuff out of it?
Glove compartment.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
If the glove compartment is too low and that hits her knees, then she's like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, that's not comfortable. I need to be in the back where it's more open for my knees." So that's why I'm like,
Like the Scion. With the,
yes, that the back of that was super
Spacious.
spacious.
It
You
was
could let your
spacious,
legs
yeah.
out and everything. So that's why I'm like, to me, of course, how you say it will make a difference.
Mhm.
I would never tell anybody to get in the back seat, but I think it's very, I don't want to say honorable, but it's a nice way to say, would you be more comfortable in the front or the back?
Well, maybe they would know you, and
But
know that you don't mean it.
yeah,
in a
like
malicious
I-
way, which would be fine.
I feel like
don't
me just
know.
saying it like that would be,
I
not even if you
don't-
didn't know me. If you didn't know me and I just said it the way I said it, would you take that offensive?
It's the
If
question.
I'm a
in
mother,
itself.
yeah, like
Yeah,
why
it's
did you
just
feel like
the
you was gonna
question
ask me and I
in itself. I
birthed
don't
this
care how
little,
nice you ask.
this little mother?
Wow.
But like, listen, but like prime example, when we were test driving for Demonte to get the car that he has now, and it was me, him, and his mom, and she was like, "No, you get in the front." I'm like,
That's
"Well,
different.
no," but I was immediately getting in the. I was already getting in the back. Like it was no question. I'm getting
Why?
in
You're
the back.
test driving the car. It's your car.
No, he was test driving the car.
He was test
It was
driving the car
DeMonte's
for
car.
him.
It doesn't matter. You're
car.
his significant other.
Right, but his
No,
mom
that's
was
it.
asking
What
I
did you
am
say?
DeMonte was about to test drive the car
Correct.
for himself.
for himself. So
And his
he was going to
mom
get
was
in the
there.
driver's seat. So then it would
Okay.
be her or him.
But you're a couple, so you would also be. in
Wait a
this car
minute,
more
I'm
than
confused.
his mother.
That's what we're saying this whole time. What are you saying?
Test driving a car and it just being a regular, you're just getting in the car.
I don't think those are two different things to me.
Are you serious?
No matter getting in a
You're
car.
test driving a
Period.
car. You should know what the front seat feels like. The mom should get in the back
I feel
if they're capable.
I just feel like it's
Anytime you get in a
car
car.
etiquette. Like I just feel like I'm
Yeah,
To
maybe.
me, that's
I'm
not
just
different.
immediately
I
going
think
to the
if you're-
back
if
unless
you're
she
going
says
to test out the
get
car.
get in the front. I'm getting in the back. Like unless she's like, no, get in the front.
Mhm.
I'm getting in the back. I'm just going to the back. Unless she's like, no, it's easy for me to sit. I'm not gonna act like that's just the.
See, Elijah's mom would get in the back seat if we were test driving a car because that would be our car. That's my
That's what
man's
his
car.
mom. That's
I
what
need
his
to
mom
sit in the front.
That's what his mom
this
said.
time.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Like this time. But if it was just like every day,
Okay, I kinda see what you're saying. Like this, if we're gonna be, this is our car, and we're
Yeah.
gonna be driving this car. She would want her mother-in-law want
I
her
want
to
to
sit
mess
in
with the
front.
bells and whistles in the
This
front
is-
seat while
this
you're
is
driving
their car.
around.
So I don't need to be in the front seat for this, but I would still just. I mean, I know what a car is.
Because you still may not be comfortable in the back.
So we
So
back
I'm
to
still-
That's what I'm saying. Like if she's
still
capable,
gonna-
or if they're capable of getting in the back
So
while you're
you-
test driving a car, then get in the back because I need to check out some things. But obviously, if they're not, I'll be crawling over to check the bells and whistles while you sit in the front seat. I don't care.
So we back to controversial topics.
Because I'm going to ask.
We done made our way around to the last episode.
situationist.
Yeah,
Is that a
it
word?
depends on the situation.
It depends on the situation for everything.
Situationalist.
I'm a situationalist.
Yeah, because I feel like different situations call for different reactions.
Yes.
Oh.
That's why I'm
But-
such a gray person. I'm never like
I don't think,
It's a set in stone.
I just feel like
Yeah.
the question should
Unless
never
you're trying to switch
offend you,
genres
but obviously
and it's
I can't tell
music.
somebody how to be offended and how not to be offended. What?
It took her
What did
a
I
minute,
miss?
but she got it.
What did I miss?
It's a gray area unless you're trying to switch genres of music. That is black and white for her.
Jesus, baby,
Black
back
and
to the
white.
last episode.
Maybe.
That's 2 episodes. 2 episodes ago.
Jesus, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't think that, I don't think that question should offend you.
I ain't got no kids.
Not unless I'm telling you, you need to get in the back. If I say it like that, I'm gonna smack the hell out of
First
you.
of all,
Like,
my
don't say
daughter
it
leaving
like
my
that.
house in general is gonna offend me. So you know what?
Oh, Jesus.
It's a
We
delight.
finna pray for you.
It's a delight.
Poor baby. Oh, God.
I
Million.
promise to be a lot nicer to her about it, but it's gonna be hard.
That's all it was. She did not want her baby to go. She did not want her baby to. How dare you? How dare you?
Jesus.
Come and take her
We gonna
baby.
pray.
You are not gonna come in here and take my tootie booty duty. Call her as your own. Put me in the back seat, motherfucker.
We're gonna pray.
Mother.
We're absolutely gonna pray. I'm surprised that offends you.
I think it would. I think it would.
All right, that wraps up the part 2 of the marriage episodes, and man, that almost could have just been a marriage controversial topics. To be honest with you, because
Controversial topic,
So
marriage
baby
edition.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I like that marriage
Yeah,
edition.
marriage
Love
edition.
that.
Yes,
Love that.
That's a good one.
Yes. So I would love to know what you guys think about if your mother-in-law should sit in the front seat or the back seat.
Yeah, I really want to hear people's opinions on that one.
Yeah.
Because that's
'Cause
very.
I was shocked by that.
She didn't like my answer.
I was shocked by that.
Yes. So definitely hit us up in the comments. We'd love to read those. Definitely follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Give us a like and subscribe. We post videos every single Monday, so you don't want to miss it. Make sure you hit that bell so you can be notified every time a new one is uploaded. We will see you guys in our next episode. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.